to make it because behind you is a whole trail of people who want to make it as well. And I'm happy to say right now that all three of my brothers who served our country in wars are home, are safe, and are graduates of our universities around the country. That's what leaving the door means. I've been happily married to a woman I met at Stanford when I was a freshman. Her name is Pam Ogletree. Pam was Pam Barnes. She was born in the suburb of Baltimore, Maryland, and her father got a better job and moved to the suburb of Compton, California. Now don't tell anybody I'm calling these suburbs. She gets pissed off every single time I call them suburbs. But I met her as a freshman, and we were good friends, and we were taking classes together. And in August, after we graduated in May, when I graduated from Stanford in 1975, we were married, and her uncle performed the ceremonies, and the house was surrounded by people as well. You have to be careful, brothers. Let me just say this to you. I almost had my wedding annulled 2 days after I was married. Now, how does that happen? 2 days after you're married. Well, this is what I did. Pam had this idea as we were leaving the wedding in Compton. She said, Charles, why don't you stop by the store and get a map before we head to Cambridge? I said, a map? Who needs a map? We just turn left and go to Cambridge all the way. I got lost over and over and over again. And Pam would say things like, Charles, we haven't stopped for dinner. It's 9 o'clock at night. I would say, dear, we're only 100 miles from the next border, so I want to make it there. I would get there, the hotels were full, the restaurants were closed, we had no food and no place to stay. And I claim, as a student from Stanford, to Pam, these folks are racists all over the country. They won't let us stay in the hotel, they won't let us eat the restaurant. She said, Charles, they won't let us do it because you kept driving and wouldn't listen to me and got lost over and over and over again. And she was right. She was exactly right. And so I think people here probably remember the payphones when you would put quarters in the payphone. And she asked for a lot of quarters. And then we cleaned the car out, gave her quarters. And I was sitting in the car trying to figure out where I was going next. And she was making a call, and all I could hear was the word annulment. I knew she was talking to her father. Thank God he forgave me. We made it safely to Cambridge, and we went to our apartment, and we've been happily married ever since. We have two wonderful children, Chuck and Rashida. Chuck is 38 years old. Rashida is 35 years old. Oops, I shouldn't tell the woman's age. I have to tell it though because she's a woman with children. And my son Chuck has 3 granddaughters, 12, 10, and 6 years old. My daughter Rashida has a daughter, my granddaughter, who just turned 19 months old, Michaela. And I'm wonderful. I love them every single way I can. And it's great to be a father and a grandfather to children. I just have one prayer. God, can I have a grandson? Just one? I'm just asking. Just one grandson? My granddaughters told me, no, Papa, we don't want a grandson. We want another granddaughter. So I have to negotiate to make sure that we're going to make that happen. Let me just say finally, as we think about all of these issues, I want to say in conclusion a couple of things about what our president has done. My Brother's Keeper is a very important start for President Obama. It means jobs for young black men in finishing school. But I believe, and I've told him very clearly, that we also need a My Sister's Keeper. There's no reason for us to have My Brother's Keeper and forget the girls who are going to school, who are dropping out, who are having children, who don't have a husband, who are not thinking about school. We need to make sure that happens. And I think that's going to be important. Finally, let me just say this. We must also talk about the racism of Donald Sterling. This guy is a millionaire, and he's earned his money. But we have to be resolute in making sure that the NAACP, like the National Chapter and like the Los Angeles chapter, refuses his money. We cannot be bought, and we won't be bought by anyone at all. I'm here because of the mentoring of my grandparents, my parents, my siblings, my wife, my friends, and my children. I'm truly blessed. And I want to conclude with this, because this is how I feel. And some of you heard this. I don't feel nowheres tired, because I have come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, but I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Ogletree. Certainly, as a one who keeps the fire burning for freedom, we want to present you with this torch for freedom from the Detroit branch NAACP for all the freedom fighting you've been doing over the years. God bless you, and we thank you. Please refer to the yellow dais. Next year is a big year for us, a bigger year. I'm going to ask that Brother Eric Peterson might make an announcement, and then we're going to have Reverend D.D. Coleman to give us the benediction. Eric at the yellow dais, Vice President, Public Relations and Diversity, General Motors Corporation. Eric?
Reverend Anthony, on behalf of General Motors, we would like to fully accept as Senior Corporate Chair for next year, 2015. We are absolutely used to being number one, and we want to continue to make this dinner the absolute number one dinner in the country, and we look forward to partnering with you with our new CEO, Mary Barra, who is the first woman CEO within the auto industry. So I can tell you that General Motors is very happy to be a part in working with you and your team for 2015. Thank you, and we'll see everyone next year.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you and Vivian and Mary Barra. We want to thank our sponsors this year. We look forward to them coming back next year. Gary Torgo, Mike Ritchie. Particularly, we thank you, Gary, for a fine, tremendous job, and the Tamla Bank for coming strong in the community. Let us now stand as we hear from the Reverend D.D. Coleman on the green dais, who will give us the closing benediction on prayer. And as you look at your watch, you know we still have the biggest dinner in the shortest amount of time. Amen. Reverend Coleman.
O gracious and eternal God, for all that we have done here tonight, we just say thank you. We thank you, O God, for Wendell Anthony, and we thank you for this NAACP. We ask right now, Lord, that you would cover us in your blood, for the fight is not over. and the victory yet is won through you. So now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. Unto him, our God, we give thanks. Let the children of God say together, amen.
Thank you and good night. See you next year.